You know that moment when a simple chat goes sideways at work? You walk in ready to be reasonable. You walk out wondering, what on earth just happened there? Maybe you felt yourself snap. Maybe they sulked or shut down. And afterwards you think, I am a grown adult. Why did I react like a teenager? That is where transactional analysis comes in. It gives you a simple way to understand those reactions, so you can lead from a calmer adult place even when others do not. Transactional analysis was developed by Eric Berne in the 1950s. He noticed something important. When we talk to each other, we are not just swapping words. We are talking from different parts of ourselves. Those parts show up as three clear states: parent, adult, child. Once you start to spot these, your meetings make a lot more sense, and you get more choice in how you respond. First, the parent state. This is the voice you picked up from parents, teachers, and other authority figures. Sometimes it sounds caring. Let me help. Take care. Remember to send that email. Sometimes it sounds controlling and judgmental. You should know this by now. This is wrong. You never listen. As a manager, your parent state can be very useful for setting standards and offering support. It becomes a problem when people feel talked down to. Then they stop listening and start defending. Next is the child state. This is the part of you that holds old feelings, habits, and early decisions. Sometimes it is the free child, playful, creative, full of ideas. Let us try something new. Other times it is the adapted child. Obedient, resentful, guilty. It is not fair. You never listen to me. I give up. In the workplace, child state can bring energy and creativity. It can also show up as sulking, eye-rolling, or silent resistance. And yes, we all go there sometimes. Then we have the adult state. This is your calm, here and now self. You gather facts, you listen, you ask questions, you weigh up options and respond rather than react. In your adult state, you say things like, here is what I am noticing. Can we look at what actually happened? What would be a good next step for both of us? This is the state that gives you your best leadership conversations, especially when things are tense. We all use all three states, and we all have favorites. You might default to caring parent. You might jump into controlling parent when you feel stressed. You might slip into child when you feel criticized. Under pressure, you usually fall back into the state you have used most in similar situations. You snap, you rescue, you retreat, often without even realizing. As a leader, your first job is to notice your pattern. Which state do you tend to go to when someone challenges you? That awareness gives you a pause button. From there, you can choose a different response. Imagine you say to a team member, "Can we go over the report together? I've noticed a few errors." You mean it as a calm adult request. You are focused on the work. They respond from the child state. You never tell me it is good enough. You always pick holes. If you reply from controlling parent, it escalates. Of course I pick holes. That is my job. You should pay more attention. Now you have parent and child locked in a tug-of-war. If instead you stay an adult, you change the direction. I can see this feels frustrating. The purpose here is to ensure you feel confident about what you send out. Let us look at one section together. Adult to child can often calm things. Adult to adult is where you want to end up. Why does this matter so much in leadership? Because every performance issue, every conflict, and every difficult conversation sits on top of these states. When you know what is happening, you can catch yourself before you slide into old patterns. Choose adult when you give feedback. Spot when someone is stuck in child and respond with steadiness. Reduce crossed conversations that waste time and damage trust. You cannot control how other people show up. You can control the state you choose to lead from. That is where your real influence sits. So let me give you 3 simple habits to start with. First, notice your language. Right and wrong. Always and never. Those are parent words. It is not fair. You always pick on me. Those are child words. Second, ask yourself one quiet question. What would my adult say right now? Then answer from that place. Third, after a difficult conversation, replay it. Which state was I in? Which state were they in? What would I like to do differently next time? Small shifts here make a big difference to how people experience you and how you feel in your own role. Let us make this even more practical. Imagine you need to give feedback and you want to stay in adult. Adult focuses on facts, not labels. You might say, when we sent the report, 3 figures were incorrect, instead of, you are careless with numbers. Then ask an adult question. What do you think got in the way here? What would help you get this right next time? You are inviting them into adult with you. 2 adults are much more likely to solve the problem together. Scene 5. What about when someone is clearly in child? They are upset. They say, I cannot do this. It is not fair. Underneath, there is usually something they need. Often, it helps to start with a calm, caring parent response. I can hear you are really frustrated. Let us pause and review together. Then you shift into adult. Here is what we know. This is where we have a choice. What feels like a realistic next step for you? You meet the emotion first, then you invite them back into adult with you. Before a difficult conversation, take 30 seconds and ask yourself these 3 questions. What state am I in right now? What state are they likely to be in? What do I want this to feel like by the end? If you notice you are already in controlling parent, they are likely to walk in as an adapted child. Yes, but I knew you would say that. So you reset, you breathe, you choose adult on purpose. You plan one adult opening line. For example, I want us to look at how we work together on deadlines. My aim is to make this easier for both of us. Now, you are much more likely to get an adult response back. Transactional analysis is not just for one-to-ones. You can use it to run calmer meetings as well. Set one simple ground rule. We stay in adult mode here. That means we focus on facts, impact, and next steps. Not blame, not always and never. You can use the child element to help the person be creative and evolve their ideas. Then, move to the adult state to establish actions and plans. You are using each state where it helps, rather than letting them run the show. Like any skill, this gets easier with practice. Think of it as building a new leadership muscle. Pick one place to start. Maybe your next one-to-one. Maybe your next team meeting. Afterwards, jot down 3 things. Which states did I notice in myself? Which states did I notice in others? What will I do differently next time? Over a month or 2, you will start to see patterns. Leadership is not about never feeling triggered. It is about knowing what to do when you are. Transactional analysis gives you a simple lens. You can use it in your next team meeting, your next feedback conversation, even your next family row. Start small. This week, notice one parent moment and one child moment in yourself. Then choose one conversation where you will stay firmly in adult from start to finish. You might be surprised at how different it feels, and how different people respond to you. Because when you lead from an adult, you create space for other people to meet you there too. You will spot where you slip into controlling parent, where you overuse caring parent and rescue too quickly, where your own child gets triggered. Once you see it, you can steer it. That is what your team experiences as real leadership.